It's the 22nd. The month is winding down. I just put our friend Runner Boy up. He's getting in his front squats today. My cat's coming in to say good morning to you guys. Whoever happens to pop in. So we're gonna leave Runner Boy up and running. I just shared him on my community page. If you guys want to go visit, please do so. All right, 1 second. Now I'm going to bring up my desktop. So as stated,
Americans trust nurses. The largest.
Sorry, guys. Hey, Global, how are you? This is a week, right? You're getting the shading on your tattoo. Global says, good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. It says, good bro, Friday, 4:30 p.m. Nice. I got your channel up right now. After the live stream, I'll spend a little time going through your shorts, seeing what's new. All right. What else do we got here? Selma. Puppy morning fix it yesterday. Nice. I'm glad to hear that, Selma. Global says, thanks, bro. You're welcome. I always enjoy going through the stuff that you put on. It always gives me a smile. So, early mornings. It's not always devoted to A Course in Miracles. But it has been for quite some time. Before I was reading from the Course in Miracles, we went through the Tao Te Ching, 81 verses. Then we did the Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. Other stuff along the way. There's 365 workbook lessons, one for each day in A Course in Miracles. We are asked not to do more than one. The only rule in the entirety of A Course in Miracles. 700 and some page text, 365 lessons, 90-page manual for students. Global says, morning, Selma. So you'll get to spend some time with toy pups today, Selma. Selma says, subscribe to your channel. 2 + 2 = 5. That's awesome. That's awesome. I actually have my small copy of that by my bedside. Kenneth Wapnick. Many consider the master teacher of A Course in Miracles. People who love some of the newer teachers, Gary Renard and so forth, they all give their thanks to Kenneth Wapnick. I mean, even some of the older teachers. 5 + 5 = 18. Someone says, Corey, it's 2 + 2 = 4. Depends on how you look at it, my friend. So, no, he's not trolling at all. Not trolling at all. What he's asking for is a different way of seeing things, a different mathematics. That, you know, by right, we could say 1 + 1 always equals 1. There is no 2. So this leads us to the very beginning. Course in Miracles, lesson 1. It all begins with negation. That we have to, hey Alex, 405, it's 505 for me. We have to negate what we see. The world we see is not reality. It's a representation of reality. It is illusory in the sense that we've assigned it all the meaning that it has. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Lesson 1. Nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place means anything. Nothing I see means anything. So the Course says, look around. Practice applying this idea very specifically to whatever you see. The examples, this table, this desk right here for me, doesn't mean anything. This phone that I'm looking at doesn't mean anything. This book, a 30-plus year, 35-year Course in Miracles, does not mean anything. Extra glasses does not mean anything. Then look farther away. Go outside. The sky, my house, cars, they do not mean anything. We keep negating and negating and negating. Why? Because we need to undo, give me 1 second, guys. We need to undo the world that we see, the world that we've inherited. Everything that we value, everything that we are giving meaning to, we've been told that it has meaning. We've acquired meaning through a lifetime of saying, these glasses are important, these aren't. This book is important, that book isn't. Everything has been assigned meaning. In and of itself, it has no meaning apart from the mind, apart from the meaning that we gave it. So the Course says, dismiss all that. Dismiss it. Start from ground zero. Take away all the meaning and let the meaning inherent within everything shine through. And as our friend Corey says, because I value God. I value God at massive points. God is the inherent meaning. Love is the inherent meaning in everything. Look around the world. Is it a world that you think is awesome? If you do, you're dismissing children are starving. You're dismissing warfare across the globe. You're dismissing violence. You are dismissing political discord, neighbor against neighbor, all kinds of stuff. And we focus on, well, flowers. Flowers are beautiful. They certainly are. But does one flower negate all the rest of the issues we have in the world? Course in Miracles says no. But what we need to do is retrain the mind to see God within everything, and then how we see the world is transformed. It begins with us. We can make a sign that says end the war. We can make a sign that says free the children. We can make a sign that says stop crime, stop violence, and march up and down the street for the rest of our lives, and not a single thing will change. Not one. Think of all the great sages that have come forth. All the great yogis, all the great masters. All of them. The world is as much, if not more, probably more, because we have greater weapons of mass destruction than ever before. So what do? We do not seek to change the world. We seek to change how we perceive the world. The responsibility is on you, and me. We go in, we make changes. We retrain the mind. Global says, warning to everyone. Let me dive in here. Thank you, Global. Selma's learning more Spanish. Awesome. Global says, glad Eric's like. Much appreciated. KJ Mass Patrolman says, hello. Hello, my friend. Corey says, the only thing that has purpose is God. 100%. But we've assigned everything we see meaning. And the meaning is of the ego. What's in it for me? Why is this book important? And this book isn't. Why is one person important and the other person I dismiss? Why do I help one person and not another? Because we have assigned meaning to everything we see. Every person. This person has been nice to me. This person's been mean to me. So I value this person not so much. This person might be considered, somewhat of a jerk. Whatever. Course in Miracles strips it all away. All away. We have given everything we see meaning. That's great news. Now we can start again. And we can ask God, we can ask love, we can ask Holy Spirit, we can ask Krishna, the Tao, show me the true meaning of the world. Help me provide a miracle. A miracle is a shift of mindset. A miracle is when we ask, I want another way of seeing the world. I want to see love instead of this. I want to choose peace instead of this. And then we proceed to live our life from that choosing. Let's see. Travel says, can someone fill me in on what this is about? Probably not. Sorry. Global says, PJ, do I have any plans for today? I'm going to go out for a walk in just a little bit. Alex says, absolutely. Thank you, Alex. Corey says, are you a scientist? I am not. Corey, a sub. Thank you, Corey. Go Travel said, what's the answer then? The answer is always love. Not the type of love that we think about. We think of love in sentimental terms. Again, nothing we see or think has any value. Because what we think and what we value is wrong. That's a hard thing to come across. But this is important to me. I understand. What the Course is saying, strip everything away of the inherent, of what we view as meaningful, to let the true meaning shine forth. We can look at a loved one, our spouse, our children, whatever. We even have to strip the meaning that we've assigned to them and see them in a new light. Say, my cat, who is pestering me right now. My cat has no meaning. None. Because I've assigned it all the meaning. That my cat is pestering me. My cat wants food. My cat wants this. However, my cat in and of itself is of the essence love. Is made from God. Is creation itself. Is reality. Is a wonderful essence. But my own meaning has been superimposed upon the cat. As it has with everyone, our spouse, our significant other. What if they just shine forth in the bright light of absolute love itself? They didn't need our meaning. They didn't need our value. They didn't need to please us because they are simply an expression of love. That gives us so much freedom. Now we can go through life simply not making so many demands. It's that easy. Just not making so many demands. Having a preference versus a demand. I would prefer my spouse always pleased me, always made me happy, always agreed with me. So much easier than saying, I demand that you always please me. I demand that you always do this. I demand this and this and this and this. Going through life with all those demands does not lead to happiness. However, it's just a little bit of a step up. We have a preference. I prefer this. So no, not a scientist. My dad was a science teacher though. Corey says, because you deserve purpose. And since you do, I sub because I like your penalty. Thank you, Corey. Bellamy says, Corey, I sent you a sub, bro. We get some Spanish from our friend Selma. Corey says, thank you so much for following me. Bring your channel up, Corey. And I will do the same. There we go. Travel says, do you have an answer though? Yes and no. Again, the answer is always love. Do I realize that 100% all the time? No. This is why it's called a Course in Miracles. And I've been practicing it for 35 years. Getting better. I'm learning. I'm letting go. Let's see. I hate when girls die, says Slow Homie. Hello, my friend. How are you? Hey, Chad. Chad says, morning, Eric. What happened to Only the Strong Shall Survive? The weak are going, doing amazing these days. Because, like, the Bible lied. Give me 1 second. Everything jumped. There we go. Weak meaning lazy people on the system. I work hard for those who don't. That's tough, Chad. It's. I want to be careful how I answer this. It's never really been only the strong survive. Ever. You know, I believe it was Diane Fossey was asked what she saw as the very first trait of an advanced society when looking at all the fossils, looking at evolution, looking at how things progressed. And the interviewer was thinking that she would say it was, you know, a giant leap in our brain capacity or stronger weapons or the invention of the wheel or agriculture. And she said it was a broken bone. The first giant leap in an advanced society was seen in the fossils of a broken bone. And she was asked to explain it. She said because before then, in that time in history, at that point, if a bone broke, the person would die. They couldn't get around. They couldn't defend themselves. They couldn't hunt. They couldn't escape danger. However, the only way a broken bone then, at that time, could ever mend is if they had support. People who cared about them and gave them time, gave them food, kept them safe so that bone would heal. That's the sign. Even Darwin in the survival of the fittest didn't actually say that. More aptly, it was survival of the cooperative, survival of those who were kind and worked for the benefit of the whole. So that's really hard, Chad. And you and I have talked about this before. You are working hard. You are trying to get ahead. It seems like things are working against you. However, you can change that perception. You can change that perception. You are doing everything right. It feels wrong. It feels wrong. But you are doing everything right, my friend. You are caring for yourself. You are making yourself strong. And you, in that strength, you're providing for your family. You're providing for your loved ones. You're being a role model. You're a good guy, my friend. Selma says, I'm a good person. You are. Selma, you're one of the best. Let's see. Devolved Travel says, hi. Alex says, I'm not religious, but that's 100% true. You create your own purpose. Better yet, there's only one purpose, and the purpose is God. The purpose is love. However, we have assigned everything a purpose. Everything, including ourselves. But if we retrain the mind, if we look around the room and we say none of this has any meaning, if we look around all of it, we see none of it has any meaning except for the meaning that we've assigned it. But how about if life itself, the meaning of life, is to realize God in everything? Everything. That the purpose of life is to realize we are here to love. That's it. Not our form of love. not the mind, not our brains form, but true, absolute love for each other. Alex says, wait a minute or two. Someone says Lazarus had been raised from the dead. He was. I like the deep thought, but it needs a direction. We get there. We get there. The course is 365 lessons. This is day 1. So it starts with negation. You got to get rid of the way we've thought of the world, because it's a mess. No one can deny. You look around and the world is a mess, but there's another way to perceive the world. There is another way. There is a way that is filled with absolute love. There's a way that is filled with forgiveness and peace and abundance, prosperity. But we need to retrain from looking this way and learn to look within. Jesus gave us explicit directions. Krishna gave us explicit direction. The Tao, look within. The kingdom of heaven is within. And yet we hear that direction and we immediately, I don't see it. All right. Someone says Jesus prayed for his brother Lazarus. He did. Alex says, we missed a bit. And yes, that's true too. Someone says, and Jesus raised, or Lazarus raised up. He did. Let's see. Do you talk to your viewers? I do. But sometimes, I veer off a bit. I apologize. I'm getting there. Have Matt said there's only one true God. This is true. I agree. And yet, one true God has infinite names. Infinite names. The God that can be described is not the true God. So there's the Hebrew tradition of saying God is, and then leaving it empty, spacious. Alex says he does. He does. Let's see. Okay, why not? Is it because we don't know? It's because we don't know yet. We've been trained. We've been conditioned. Nothing we think is original. Never had an original thought. It seems original. Because from birth, we've been told, believe in this, think this, learn that. Our parents, our grandparents, our siblings, our teachers, books we've read, the media, magazines. So we need to strip it all away, start anew. Alex says, I can understand that. Someone says, Jesus declared, I am the light of the world. The truth shall make you free. He did. Travis says, I know what you're talking about. But after that, how do we walk in life? Motive? That starts coming. 365 lessons. First, we need to negate. But trust, have faith that there is an answer, and that the answer is light. It's love. Imagine if you didn't look upon someone in your life as what they do or what they did or the value that you've assigned them, and you just saw, you recognized the face of Christ within everyone. When Mother Teresa was asked, how do you show up every day in this hospital treating children? Horrible, horrible disfigurement from leprosy and other diseases. How do you treat everyone who shows up asking for help, asking for help? She said, it's simple. I see the face of Christ in all of his many distressing disguises. The face of Christ. Of course, as you know, the monocular of 2 plus 2 is that it equals 5 because the 0.2 times. Man, you got real mathematical on me. I do not follow math at all. I apologize. Let's see. Hey, Rhode Island. Hello, Eric. Hope that hope his word have this merit in your life today. Do we need a great reward and God's blessing awaits? Thank you, my friend. Travel says he just wants to be heard. I thought it was a dialogue or conversation. Well, there you go. You came in with an expectation. The world doesn't always meet our expectations. How can you be disappointed if you let go of all expectations? I started to read the math. It got a little difficult. 2 plus 2 is that it equals 5 because the 0.2 of the 2 times, that 5 times 2 plus the extra on the other, 2 adds, yep, it's overwhelms my limited mathematical capacity. We get a poop howdy. Poop howdy to you, my friend. We get an emoji from Corey. Selma says, he said you died for your sins. So's my people. Yep. Corey says, hey, Jace, good night. Travel says, I haven't had held on to material possessions a long time. Just love experiencing it, experiencing life. Perfect. That's awesome, my friend. And that's the key. It doesn't say don't have material things. Hold it lightly, because it's not going to last. No man can come to Jesus. Travel says, I'm not disappointed. Sounds like you don't like questions. It does sound like that, huh? I guess it sounds that way to you, my friend. That doesn't make it so. It just means it's your opinion. It just means it's your thought. As you were saying with your material possessions, holding lightly, hold your opinions lightly, because they're not true. They're just yours. They're just a thought. Changing. I could have a conversation with you, maybe in 5 minutes, you might change your mind. Does that mean that you were completely wrong before? Does that mean you're completely wrong now? Not at all. It just means you perceive things in a particular way. And perceptions are meant to change because they're not real. They're just a perception. Let's see. Travel says it does not last, but not in the present tense. It does last. Well, interesting. Not in the present tense. Is there anything but the present tense? Is there anything that is not the present tense? Everything evolves, but it's present. Well, that's weird to think about. Everything evolves. What is the one thing that evolves? If it evolves, is it the same thing that it was before? Is it the same thing that it was before? Let's see. Jesus washed disciples' feet with water. He did. Let's see. I'm flying to Mexico. Hey, be safe. And enjoy your time in Mexico, my friend. Present tense, absolutely. The present tense is the present tense. So there can't be a past. There can't be a future. There can only be the present tense. Something evolved. What was it? If it evolved, it wasn't a static thing. It wasn't an actual thing. It was fluid. It was a thought. It was life itself. Nothing static can evolve. Otherwise, it wouldn't be static. Let's see. The mind is ever-changing. The process of organizing the self, says Dan Siegel. I'm trying to think of what. I have a book by Dan Siegel, but I can't remember what it is. It is the same, just evolved. Then it isn't the same. It can't be. And a possibility.
Alright, cool guys.
Oops.
And so you are cut.
Sorry, guys. That is our friend Runner Boy.
So, knees.
He was doing some front squats and he did some bag work. So, which reminds me, it is 5:30. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to take my walk. Sun's coming up. Jesus breaks the bread. He does. Because material of no kind can be destroyed. Absolutely. So, immateriality itself, and everything is immaterial. Immateriality can't be static, and it can't be one thing. It's that intermingling of infinite things, and within those things is infinite emptiness itself. Emptiness dancing into the material world, but at the same time always remaining immaterial. Dan is a contemporary trauma doctor, research therapist. Thank you for that. Let me know when you're live. Bert says, I have a question that I have to question that one, Eric. Knowing is the truth. Knowing is the future, as is history. If you forget the past, you repeat. Jesus knew his mission before it passed. Well, I have a different way of thinking of things, my friend. That if you forget the past, you repeat it. But there is no past. Have you ever questioned that? Have you ever questioned, do we repeat it? Are we doomed to keep repeating it? The one wholly true thing that we can say about the past is that it is not here. It is not here. What from the past is here right now? A thought? Is a thought a thing? So the only thing that we have is a thought of the past. What if you didn't have that thought? Are you doomed to repeat it? How about if we had a different way of viewing the world, a complete reshaping of the mind? When Jesus forgave from the cross, he didn't say, forgive them of the past. He didn't say, look at the past and forgive them. It was forgiveness of the present moment, only the present moment. When Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is within, where does that leave heaven? In the past, in the future, or right now? But you know what? Infinite ways of looking at it. Good Travel says, what if I'm right? That's a good question. What if you are? Salute and blessings to the chat. Thank you, Nate. Whole lot of nows. Infinitely strung. How about just one now? The present is the past evolution, which keeps us stuck in the past. One moment evolving. Nicely said. However, what are we evolving to? How can it be one moment if it is evolving to something? What if who we are is what we are? And the illusory world seems to be evolving, seems to be a past. As Einstein said, time and space is an illusion, albeit a persistent one. Let's see. I'm going to read Yogananda's Journey to Self-Realization today on my flight. Nice. Awesome book. I actually have several of his right around here. I have my original copy of Autobiography of a Yogi. Travel says we got to just settle on a notion eventually. Maybe. Travel says, I like your mind, bro. Thank you. I appreciate this conversation. Stepper says, to understand the next 100 years, we have to fully understand the last 2,000. Welcome, my friend Sniper. So, thanks for sticking with me. This was day 1. Let's go to day 2. That'll be tomorrow. Let's see. I have that as well. It's 4:45. Says nice. I have that and Man's Eternal Quest on my shelf, plus the one haven't read this one yet. Yep, I have that in the next room. I also have from the late 1980s and early 90s the self-realization lessons that they used to send you. I think they still do. Let's see. Let's see. Travel says, I believe minds like you and me can save some. I hope so. I hope we can save ourselves. I get stuck in a lot of ways. Even after 45, 35 plus years. Hey, Runner Boy. I've had you up and running. Rhode Island Roger says, I follow your idea there. It would help the world heal. Energy transfer from one state to another. That is the part that bothers me in that. Interesting, Roger. Energy never dissipates, it only transferred, says Squirrel Sniper. Let's see, I'm thinking of Roger. Here's what the Course in Miracles asks us to do: to change our perception of the world. That the world we see, the reason why it strips all the meaning away, is so that we can see our ego has superimposed its own meaning on the world that we see. There is a purpose in everything. There is an essence of love in everything. There is God in everything. However, the ego is always making incessant demands. I, me, mine. Demanding, demanding, demanding. As St. Paul in Letters to the Corinthians says, love is patient, love is kind, love makes no demands. So what the Course is asking us to do is first strip away all the demands of the ego. Strip away our belief in time, our belief in space, our belief in separation, our belief that we have to struggle, our belief that life is difficult and that we are separate from each other and separate from the source itself. Get rid of all that. Retrain the mind to see the essence of God, the essence of love in everything. And in doing so, we see there's only one purpose. It's not to evolve into a better species. It's not to hold on to the past. It is not to see all that stuff that previously happened. It's not to project anything to the future. It is to extend and live in love in the present moment, which is all we have. The kingdom of heaven is now because there's nothing else but heaven. St. Catherine of Siena said, all the way to heaven is heaven. All the way to heaven is heaven. When we wake to that, our one and true purpose is to love. Simplified. Easy. We have to retrain, says Travel. We get trained out of spirituality. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. The ego wants a spirituality that makes sense to the ego. The spirit doesn't need that. The spirit just is open, free, embracing everything, embracing everything. God is just hard to understand? Exactly, because it's the ego, it's the mind that's trying to understand everything. The heart, where love is, always, doesn't need to understand, because it is. It's already love. So there's a disconnect between the heart and the brain that doesn't have to be there, but as our friend Travel said, we need to retrain. Remember the heart. The brain is a useful tool, but it's not meant to offer us love. It's not meant to see the world as loving. It's meant for a very primitive purpose. The heart is our connection. Heart to heart. Not the old TV show. Sniper says, we have to remember we're all fractals of the source. My cat shed all over me, making my ego go harumph. Cats are wonderful teachers. Eckhart Tolle said, I've met several Zen masters in my life, and they've all been cats. Travel says, it's not for self-gain, it's for the collective God in us. Nicely said, my friend. Goku-san says, hey, I'm back. It's been a while. It has been a while. How are you? Easy says, good morning, Eric. Hey, Easy. Good morning. Sniper says, hey to Runner Boy. All right, 5:40. I'm going to go take my walk, guys. I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you throwing all kinds of challenges in my direction. I don't know the answers. I don't. My ego doesn't. When I let go of my need of trying to explain, it makes sense. When I cling to my little tiny answers, when I cling to the voice of the ego, when I say whatever, it makes no sense. When I let go and I let the heart, when I let God, as they say in the recovery movement, let go and let God, then we hang out together. We have a good time. Roger says, and 100. Thank you, my friend. Love to you, my friend. Travel says, God bless you, brother. You have a pure heart. Be careful in this internet streets. Thank you for that. Let me make sure that I connect with Travel. So I'm going to bring his YouTube channel up. And I'm subscribed, my friend. Easy says, talk to you later. Eric, absolutely easy. Goku gives us a wave. Good answer, good question. All growth, absolutely. Travel says, okay, thanks. Okay, thanks, bro. Thanks to you. Much appreciated. Guys, I will see you later. Travel says, I definitely will continue to tune in. Much appreciated. Thank you. We will travel together, all of us. Take care, my friends.